Firstly, I want to ask you, how do you see cheese? How do you use it? Where does it come in the picture in your cooking?
Okay, so cheese, I see cheese everywhere.
Like me.
I see cheese everywhere. I absolutely love it. I'm fascinated by it. Even though I know the process, and I've never been part of making cheese professionally, for example. But I find it a miracle that from milk you can get something that varies so much, from mild to almost disgustingly strong, you know?
Yes.
Almost like explosive.
Yeah.
So that in itself is a miracle, that there's so many variation and so many nuances. I love it in starters, I love it in main course, I love it in cheese course, and I love it in dessert. I love it all the way. I put cheese everywhere, and it was just very exciting to discover your cheese, because although there's been an enormous progress made in South Africa in the last 20 years in the cheese making industry. I mean, 25 years ago you could only find cheddar and Gouda. These were like the two staple cheeses. And like in the wine industry, like in the vegetable growing industry, like in the olive oil industry, there's been a huge awareness, and there's a lot of people that are making very exciting things. They went to Europe, they learned, they come back, they realize the milk is great, the grazing is fantastic. That whether it's cow's milk or goat's milk.
Now, tell me about that dish that you're making that I tasted, which is divine.
Which one?
Fig and
okay,
bush.
so it's actually really simple. The emphasis is on the cheese. You slice about a 2 centimeter slice of your bush, and you marinate it with olive oil, a little bit of olive oil and thyme.
Yes.
And then it can stay in there for a couple of days. It very happily stay in the marinade.
Okay.
And then when you're ready, you take a little oven dish.
Yes.
You put the cheese on with the oil that comes with it. You add a little bit more fresh thyme on top, and then you take one ripe fig that you cut into quarters, and you put the figs on either side of the cheese, and you just bake that for 15 minutes in the oven at 200, and you serve it with thin croutons. You know, personally, I just eat it with a spoon, and I just even drink all the oil in it and everything.
I also thought it was a bit dry, but
so that's one of the things you can do. You don't want to overdo it with a cheese like yours. I mean, I serve your cheese on my cheese board as well.
Tell us what you think of Pepe Charlotte cheese in general.
And
in particular.
Well, look, this is the thing. The produce that you make, a cheesemaker, a winemaker, will always be compared to the standard that exists in Europe. Because it's the benchmark. And the benchmark of goat cheese making is in France and Spain and Italy. This is where the best is made. And I was convinced that I would never come across something that, if I was to do a blind tasting, I would be unable to say, my God, this is South African, this is French. And you did it. You refined your bûche, your recipe so well that it's astonishing. It's I could be sitting.
Thank God you're sitting. You would have
exactly. I could be sitting in a village in Provence eating a bûche, a Sainte-Maure bûche, having my eyes closed, having exactly that taste. So that's how I see your cheese.
Thank you.
It's flipping fantastic.